Okay, so wild card game, Nickelodeon coverage from the NFL. I'm an NFL fan, I would say. I'm mainly a sports guy too. I'm a lot of sports. I like NASCAR, NFL, baseball, a lot of stuff. I watched this last year. I did a review of it. It was great. Once again, they did it again this year, and it was even better. The game was a lot better. Definitely, the commentators felt a lot more comfortable, for sure. Gabby did excellent. She was a lot more talkative this year. She was in the game a lot more. Last year, she was kind of like hush-hush a little bit. She felt like she kind of giving off like a shy kind of energy. But this year, she was all in. She was brilliant. Unfortunately, there were some tech issues, like tech-related issues, some replays not showing. I saw some, like, camera angles that we weren't supposed to see. Some, like, stats. Like, they tried to show stats on screen whenever they were talking about a certain player, but they didn't, like, show up. It was kind of weird. The field goal camera angle was also kind of strange, too. Like, most, like, CBS, NBC, all the main guys who cover all these NFL games, they have a set field goal camera angle to make it to where it's easy for the viewer to understand what's happening during a field goal. Because if you have you think about a field goal, you can't have a side angle of a field goal because you won't know if it's a good field goal or no good. You won't know if they made it or not. So they have one that's centered behind the end zone to kind of line up with the field goal post, so you know and adjacent to where the ball is if it's a good field goal or not. But they didn't have that. And I think partially the reason why is because they had the SpongeBob and Patrick, like, thingies on the field goal nets, which they had last year. They just had SpongeBob last year. They actually had Patrick this year. And they were okay, I guess. They were okay enough. And I do like how the reaction, like, of their faces kind of changed depending on what the field goal was. That was kind of a good call on them because, of course, if you would have just had it be just a flat image and nothing more, you wouldn't be able to tell if it was a good field goal or not. And they also had the slime cannons go off whenever they made the field goal. Slime cannons returned. There was a blimp that drops, like, slime everywhere. They were selling, like, slime hats in the crowd, which I thought was great. The effects during the replays were kind of weird. I think Nate, I want to say Nate, who did amazing as analyst, by the way. I want to say Nate was using, like, a teleprompter to do all these, like, little explosion effects and all these, like, fire effects and stuff. Because it definitely feels like he was using a teleprompter because he couldn't time it very well. Here's my opinion, okay? I think the effects are okay. You can definitely use them in a good way during the highlight packages that they have during commercial breaks or whatever. Which they didn't really have too many of those. As far as I was aware, I didn't really see too many of those this year as I did last year. But it was still good, though. I mean, the effects were mostly pretty good. I like the slime man. I like like I said, the blimp dropping slime everywhere. That was funny. And Noah Eagle, man, is just so good as play-by-play. I don't know what it is, man, but I guess just Nickelodeon standard, I thought he was just gonna be bleh. But no, he does amazing, and especially because this game was a lot closer. It was a memorable game. It was a crazy ending, controversial ending, and also memorable. And I was really hoping for that this year with these two teams. And man, the Cowboys and the 49ers really delivered on that. Came down to the final second. Brilliant stuff. But they covered it really well. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting the flow like I would see on NBC or CBS or Fox. It was really well done and really well paced. Let me think. A few other things. Oh, the Loud House art style for players was pretty funny. They did this thing. I think NFL did this thing a little bit ago. I wonder if this was actually a parody for that. Like a year or so ago. I think it was like a year or so ago. They had like book designs for each of the NFL players during the actual, like, whenever they showed like the stats and stuff. And I think that was a little bit of a nod / parody to that, which I thought was really funny and really awesome. The weird conversations was kind of weird. Like, there was some parts where, like, especially by the end of the game, there was some random questions that were being thrown out. But I do like the fact that they kept the game going. They kept the game, moving and stuff. And Noah was still able to call most of the plays that happened as they were doing all this. Let me think. The new favorite, like, items, like, objects, or, like, new favorite, like, character thing is fun. I don't know if that was new or if it was something that they also did last year. I wasn't really paying attention to that last year personally. But those were pretty awesome to watch too. Those were pretty cool. Didn't focus on injuries too much. Which is why I don't think this is really a replacement to like CBS or anything like that. Not yet, at least. They just need to make it more like interesting and like keep out all of the stuff like the weird random conversation and stuff like that. Keep some of it in, but like make it to where it's a little bit more not really muted. I don't want to make it just like a boring broadcast. I'm sure you can keep some of the Nick stuff to this broadcast and still make it pretty good. I will tell you one thing, though, that really, really does bother me before I get to this, like, thingy that they showed during halftime. They did this thing, and they did it last year, too, where they have an MVP award. And here's my problem. Dak Prescott won this award. But the thing that happened at the end, I kind of want to go a little bit into detail of it, but not too much. Basically, pure and simple, the officiating crew kind of messed up. Prescott slid down and the clock was running down and it was the final few seconds and they had to snap the ball. They had to snap the ball to spike the football to make it to where the clock stopped. It was the final drive of the game, probably about a few seconds left on the clock for them to actually score a last-second touchdown. The official gets in the way, pushes the pile of people trying to get onto the ball to try and snap the ball. And it basically just cost them the game. Dak Prescott is upset with this. Absolutely upset. Probably cursing at them. Probably yelling. Just red hot. Red hot. And young Dylan, earlier in the game, was like, oh, we have a slime tank where we're going to make the MVP of the game get slimed right here on the sideline. They have a tank with like a tube with like a bucket and they're going to fill it with slime and stuff. And they were going to, like, slime the MVP. However, they didn't count on the MVP being so blatantly mad, like really, really red hot, to the point where they didn't even do it. They went to the end. They were like, all right, guys, well, that's the end of the game. They didn't even do it. They did that last year, too. They had the Saints, the losing team who had a player that was going to get slimed, or I think a coach. I want to say it was a coach or a player. I don't know who it was. But as far as I'm aware, he never got slimed. Here's the thing. Here's how you fix this, okay? Guys, Nick, execs. Here's how you fix it. Just listen. You make a poll for two separate things because the fans voted. The kids vote who's the favorite player. The kids vote. So have two polls. One team and then the other team. Make those two polls and then at the end of the game, you show who won from both teams. Have the winning team be the MVP, much like how in the actual Super Bowl, they have MVPs. And they make it to where it goes to the winning team. It doesn't go to the losing team. The losing team doesn't get the MVP. The winning team gets the MVP. So right there, that's where they messed up right there, severely, because, of course, you're asking for that to happen every single year. And so if they bring that back next year, they need to do that. They need to do that. Aside from that, though, the coverage was great. The coverage was fine. I enjoyed it. It was great. The final few minutes, let me tell you guys, I seriously could not believe how well they handled it. I actually was like, oh God, do I switch it to CBS? Because, of course, CBS was also covering the game as well. They were doing their normal coverage. Like I said, it's not a replacement. It's not like this was the only way to watch. CBS is still the other way you can. But I personally kept it on Nickelodeon like the entire way through that final drive, and it was incredible. But let me talk a little bit about this new show that they kind of showcased a little bit during halftime. Sorry it took so long. I'm sorry. But yeah, Big Nate, man. I did hear about this. I did. They, I think, announced this probably earlier last year, I want to say. And at first I was kind of skeptical, just a little bit. I'm not really a big fan of like CGI shows. I feel like CGI shows have really aged kind of poorly in my humble opinion. I'm not really a big guy to watch like Jimmy Neutron or like Planet Sheen or all these other weird shows from the early 2010s, you know what I mean? I'm more of a 2D guy myself, that's just me though. But man, this actually didn't look bad. It really did not look bad. It kind of reminded me of like a Ned's Declassified mixed with Wimpy Kid, like Diary of a Wimpy Kid for some reason. I kind of got those vibes watching this. I don't know why. I got those weird vibes. And a little bit of Lizzie McGuire, if you guys remember that show. A little bit of that too, with like the cartoony like drawings and stuff that happened throughout it. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. And the humor was pretty good. I think the show could definitely be another really, really good show for Nick. It's going to be on Paramount Plus. I think it's February 17th. So once again, much like Camp Coral. It was much better than Camp Coral, let me tell you that right now. It was much better than Camp Coral. But, like, miles better than Camp Coral. But it was pretty fascinating, and I can't wait for me to watch a little bit more of that. Maybe I might do some reviews of it. You never know. But yeah, man, that was really it. The wild card game, the Big Nate thing, amazing. I think the Nickelodeon, if they really iron out some of those issues I did mention, those small little issues, it could be even better, but it was still amazing. It was still an amazing game, and it was still amazing coverage by them. Once again, cannot wait. We need Noah Eagle to do something for NBC, CBS, if he isn't doing anything already. I know Nate is doing stuff for CBS already, and he was outstanding with the teleprompter, aside from those little effects issues I had. But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great, and yeah. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you guys enjoyed, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, awesome. And of course, guys, I'll see you guys when we see you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and goodbye, everybody. I'll see you guys soon. Take care, everyone.